Welcome back to YGU Queens Yes Girl University, where we say yes to ourselves, yes to love, yes to peace and happiness. Before we get started, I invite you to join the conversation, like, share, and subscribe so we can keep this thing going and growing. So last week, my brother joined me and we had a discussion about being raised in the same home and what our perspectives were on the things that we experienced. And it became a very interesting conversation, and we may have to go back and do a part two. It helped us a lot with our healing process and our relationship, and it opened my eyes to remember some things from my childhood that I had once forgotten. But then I realized after that video and talking in my own video about my childhood myself, I didn't really elaborate going into my teen years and how things that happened to me when I was younger, how they translated into my teen years before I became an adult. So then I had this thought, well, in my teen years, who's the best person to share those stories with and to help me kind of go down memory lane other than my best friend? I mean, we do it all the time, and I have a couple of best friends, but we have one here today, and her name is Vanetta. Say hey, Vanetta.
Hi.
We have been friends for 32 years. We was 12. You realize that?
Wow.
We was 12 years old. When I really think about that, you be like 32. That's as old as Danielle is. 32 years.
That's a long time.
That's crazy. Just to even be able to have a relationship that lasts that long, and we're not like blood. We weren't raised together. We weren't forced to have a relationship or anything. You just meet somebody and boom, they're your best friend. So I'm going to let you tell the story on how we met.
Don't let me tell the story.
I'm going to let you tell it.
The whole story.
Well, whatever parts you want to tell. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
We have a good meeting story, I think.
So I was in like 7th grade.
Yeah, we were both. I had just started 7th grade, as a matter of fact.
I met her brother Hezekiah, and he was like my first little kitty boyfriend. And when we went to lunch, he introduced me to Annie. And from then on, our friendship began.
But we had a class together.
We did?
We had a class together at the start of 7th grade. And I remember, I think I told you this. I remember seeing you in the class and something was like, that's going to be your friend. Like, I just looked at you and was like, she's going to be my friend. She's just going to be my friend. And so I think Hezzy introduced us. Were we in the lunchroom?
Lunchroom.
Yeah, we was in a lunchroom. And y'all, it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I
broke his heart.
You broke his heart? Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't know if I really broke his heart, but
but y'all know
we still were friends after that.
Yeah. So what do you think about us? What clicked between us that we were able to not just become friends, but stay friends, but also be best friends, and even really more like sisters?
I don't know. I think we talk well.
I don't think that's something we ever really thought about. Like, why are we friends?
Yeah, that's an interesting
Why did it click?
question.
Does anybody really ask that question? Why did we become friends? Because we had other friends.
Right.
You know, you have your friends from elementary school and friends you meet, along the way, and those things don't kind of last. But I wonder.
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah, we
off.
never
A lot
really
of them fall off.
Never really asked the question. Well, what is it that clicked between us as such a interesting.
What do you think?
I don't know. Like I said, I knew you were supposed to be my friend. I just knew it. And even with our other good friend, when I met her in 9th grade, I had the same experience. We were in Latin class, and something said, that's going to be your friend. And we're still friends to this day. So it was kind of, I don't know, maybe it was just divine.
What's weird is you actually left the middle school.
Yep.
And
we were there the whole 7th grade.
Yeah, whole 7th grade.
And then 8th grade, we were kind of back and forth. So I think I was gone for like 6 months.
Yeah. And then
from 8th grade.
And then we saw each other at that concert.
Yeah.
Remember? It was like
the All City
All
Choir.
City Choir concert. Yeah.
But did we lose contact in between that time?
Just briefly. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. It was
And so
briefly.
by then we were what, like 14, 15, I think, in were we 15?
Maybe 13. It was 8th grade. It was 8th grade.
Was it 8th grade? Okay. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, we had ended up moving away, and I ended up going to like 2 other middle schools, and then ended up right back at the middle school where we met. So we just, kind of rekindled from there. And that summer before high school, I think we hung out a little bit.
We hung out a lot.
The summer before high school.
That's when we started riding on the buses.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kids
don't know about that. Get on the bus. We took the bus
to the movies.
Everywhere, or we walked.
Oh yeah.
We bussed or we walked.
So
everywhere. I have a thought, and I want to see if you have the same thought. What's one of our funniest memories that you have?
The funniest memory is we was riding the bus home from the mall.
Same.
It was dark outside, and so we get off the bus. We like maybe a block away from your house.
Maybe like a block and a half, something like that.
So
going through an alley.
Right, we was going through it was either alley or
it was about to start going through. No, it was through the alley.
Oh, yeah.
So we went down a side street and we turned into the alley.
And we saw these green eyes, and I had a Walkman on, I had my purse, and we saw green eyes staring at us. So of course we started running.
She started running.
I
don't even really know what happened. All I know is she was gone. It's dark. We're in the alley, and somehow I got her purse.
And my Walkman. I threw everything.
And somehow I caught it. And she was gone. She was gone. It was
I
so
was
funny.
Scared. All we saw was eyes. This was the weirdest thing ever.
Did it bark? Was it
It didn't bark. It was just a bunch of green eyes.
Know what it was? Anyway, she was gone. She threw it. She hollered. I had a purse. I'm like, what happened? Where you going? I'm like, girl, I got your purse. Like, what the heck? But anyways, good times. And it's funny that we had that same, because I was like, this is my funniest moment.
Yeah, that was the funniest moment.
But it's funny because we do talk about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, teenagers, we get what we consider our own consciousness of what we want to do, and we want our way, and we want to have fun, and we want to hang out, which we were really blessed to be. We got to hang out quite a bit. Quite a bit, and really back and forth at each other's homes, but mainly at my house because we didn't even have rules.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was pretty cool in letting us have company over, and we a couple years in, we started in high school. We started having these parties, and so we were blessed to have a really good time, and not just partying, but just with each other. So of course in the teenage years, well, maybe I shouldn't say of course, but between us, we experienced a lot of our growing, I would say, together. Like, with your best friend or your sister, whoever is your best friend, that's who you tell everything to. And I don't know how deep you want to go. But I remember around that time when we first were active and just sharing our stories and stuff like that. And it's interesting. It's like, I don't know how deep we want to go into this. But at what age, was your first time?
I had just turned 15.
And it's funny, and I only ask that because I didn't come from a household where that was discussed. We never talked about, having sex or what that meant or protection or anything else. Was it different in your household?
Mm-hmm. My mom got very in-depth and told us, she talked about everything about that. She tried to have as open of a relationship as she could about sex. told us, about boys and birth control, but that still kind of makes it, you're not gonna go to your mother if you're doing this stuff.
Right.
So even though she gave me all the talks about diseases and boys and how you can put yourself in dangerous situations, she was the type, she always wanted us to, tell us the boy's address, his phone number.
To know where you at, yeah.
Yeah, so she would know where we was at, but that first time around, it didn't
go that way.
It didn't go that way.
In the moment, it's like.
And after the fact, I was very scared because things happened that I didn't talk to her about. So it was like weird.
But you had that though.
Yeah.
You had that. So, after that first, because you ended up being on birth control and you took precautions. I didn't have that with my mom. My mom was still, and again, I'm not bashing my mom. I love my mom. She did the best she could. She didn't have those conversations. When she found out that I was active, she just was like, okay, you should ask my permission first. And that literally was it. She never talked to me about birth control or safe sex or just protecting myself, period, being in different situations. So for me, it kind of gave me the green light to be like, okay. It was more like, well, you don't care, so I'm gonna do what I'm just gonna do, and I'm gonna go. And I went crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I went crazy, but not just because of that reason, but mainly because of things that I've seen and experienced when I was younger. And see, what you all didn't know in our little group is how crazy I was. Like, I held that from y'all for a long, long time I look back now and I say that I had a sexual addiction. Like, that was my drug of choice to, make myself feel loved and wanted and desired or important or whatever. Right. So I had no value. Right. And I don't even know why I held that from y'all. Because I don't know because it's like we
wouldn't have judged.
Yeah,
well, I wouldn't have judged. I know,
but I think because I had a lot of shame because I knew it wasn't right.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think part of me knew that it wasn't right, but I didn't know how to, or I didn't have the guidance to help me try to figure that out.
Right.
Because coming up, my mom just didn't. Nobody really in my life had those type of conversations with us. So it was like, I'm here, I'm out here, I'm looking for a feeling or whatever, and that's how I did it.
Right.
But I will always feel bad, like afterwards, like when you're addicted to something and you're in that moment and it takes you away and it makes you feel good in that moment, but then afterwards it's like, I guess you would say the high comes down or that feeling goes away. Right. So now you're feeling the real you. And I gotta go get my next fix. So for years, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And I don't think I even shared that with y'all till we were like grown.
Right.
Or like literally. So it's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things that I feel like maybe a lot of people deal with, but we know that it's not right. But why don't we share? Why don't we share those type of feelings and experiences, at that stage in life? We learn the stuff as we get older. We get more mature, we get more wisdom of the world, and we go through things. And
a lot of times you think your parents or even adults will judge you, or have their feelings about it. Which with my kids, I try to be open. I try to be the way I would hope. I wish my mom would have been, because my mom was like too strict.
Yeah.
She was too strict, which again made me do rebellious things. So you gotta have like somewhere in between, not being too loose, but somewhere in between.
Yeah, I call it with my kids being realistic.
Yeah. Because
I'm like, I did a lot, so it would be foolish of me not to think that out of 5, 6, 7 kids, that somebody's not doing something, so it's just like trying to keep my ear to the ground. And I think that's what I always wanted from my mom. I always wanted her to just know, like, you are my mom, you should just be able to pick up the vibe or pick up the or whatever and just know. And like, I wanted her to just grab me and like shake me or something, sit your butt down, like, you're worth more than this. Or at that point, anybody, because then I started getting into really being dangerous, like going places, just hopping in a car and going places I've never been by myself, and just trusting people. And it's really by God's grace, truly by God's grace, that something serious really didn't happen. Right. So, but the beautiful part of it is having my best friends, my sisters. When we came together, I think in those moments I felt enough love to that when we were together, I wasn't looking for that. It was always when I was alone.
Yeah.
It was always when I was by myself, I would be like, I'm on the phone, trying to call somebody, can you come over? Right. And it's like, okay, I'm looking for this next fix. But when I was with you guys, I didn't have to do that because the love was there.
Right.
It was, we just, at that time we had been friends for at least 5 years, 5 years. Yeah. So we were definitely close enough to really be loyal and dedicated and really love and care about each other. Because you used to preach at me.
I did.
You did. You
and told sometimes me a couple times, I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear that. But she did. But that's what a friend's supposed to do. But why? Was it something that I told you, or something that you just picked up on?
Because sometimes I would be scared.
Yeah.
About situations that you would tell me about.
Yeah. So I did share a little bit.
Yeah, you shared some.
Yeah, but I didn't give the full.
And of course, being it, my mama did. She scared us a little bit.
Yeah.
All of us, because she's like, I knew I didn't want to have no kids. I knew that if I was in a situation, I try to give her the number or let somebody know where I was at. So I just, if I felt you was in danger.
I didn't do any of that. I didn't. And honestly, a lot of this took place at my house because we didn't have rules. I mean, we had some rules, but her rules are more like, you got to pay where you stay. So we were teenagers and we were paying rent and we were buying our own food and doing our own laundry and cleaning up. Like, we kept the house, and any entertainment we did, we had to pay for. So we were very responsible. We learned to be very responsible as teenagers, which I am grateful for because it carried over into my adulthood. But we just didn't have a lot of rules as to, you can't have people over or don't be doing this or don't be doing that. No, our house was the house. It was the house, the place to be. And again, like I said, we had a good time and we have tons and tons of great memories. But it's just when you're growing up in that time and we really don't get into what we're going through or what we're experiencing, because when we're kids, I mean, you're still a child, as a teenager. We don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. We was sharing information, trying to put two heads together to figure everything out.
Yep.
And so that's another thing that I try to do with my kids is to, create that open line of communication so they don't have to rely on the next person. Their age, y'all don't know what y'all...
advice from kids.
No, because we didn't know nothing. We didn't know nothing, but we figured a lot out.
Yeah.
We figured
also
a lot out.
Our experiences, like we've done things that our kids may think of, and so it wasn't all bad,
Right.
Even some of the bad things that happened because it gave us the knowledge of, to tell our own kids.
Yeah. And that's one thing we did. We worked. We paid for our fun. We just didn't sit around, waiting for people to show up. We definitely worked.
We worked. We got our own transportation, whether it was walking.
Yeah, we're having to give up that $5.
Yeah.
Which you can't do that no more.
We got to work. We kept jobs. Yeah.
Or that bus. That's what these kids will not get on the bus.
They will not get on the bus.
Get on the... Look. Mm-mm. You got to get some... Hey. I'm not knocking the bus. And maybe it's just a different time or whatever. But that bus... We did it. We did anything we wanted to do. Everywhere we wanted to go. We didn't sit around waiting on people, relying on people. I think that we did gain a real independence about ourselves and a responsibility in a sense, you know, of ourselves. But again, having each other, I think, was very, very important. I couldn't imagine looking back now how far off I would have gone if I didn't have friends. You know, you know, preaching at me. She used to preach at me, which I know was all love. But if I didn't have that, just, you know, kind of where would I have ended up even today? And another thing I just always had this sense of God just being with me. I will always talk to him. I always be like, God, I don't want to do this when I become an adult, because if I do this as an adult, it's going to take me, I'm never going to get out of it. I'm never going to be able to leave this behind. I'm never going to be worthy, or I'm never going to know what my worth is to really open myself up to a real love. I'm never going to trust. Like, I knew that growing into adulthood, after all the fun and party and everything I was doing, that I didn't want to be not even 18 still doing it. Because I felt like, okay, I'm crossing a threshold and I'm going to bring all this with me, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be 18. When I got 18, I wanted to just cut everything off and start fresh and emerge as a new woman.
Right.
And I was blessed because at the time, the Lord sent me my husband. Like, 3 months after I turned 18, this man, you know, shows up in my life, but you know, that's gonna be the next video probably, or somewhere down the line to help bring him in. But yeah, our teenage years were good. I mean, overall, I think they were good. And out of it, we have a long lasting relationship that we know is going to be until the end of time. Right. And our families have meshed. Like, we're literally family.
Family.
Yeah, how are we family?
We're family because I end up marrying her first cousin, Barry. And, you know, my 2 boys are by him. And
those are my godsons.
That's how we're family.
Those are my godsons and my little cousins, but they're godsons first.
Yeah.
They're godsons first. But yeah, so we're literally family now. So at this point, we're entangled. It just is what it is. But what's something significant for you from your teenage years that you wish you could have done different, or you wish you had somebody to really pour into you in a time that you really needed? Oh, I know something. Our first heartbreaks.
Oh.
Navigating your first heartbreak.
So bad.
How as a teen and not really knowing what it's, I mean,
first of all, you really feel you're in love.
Yeah, you feel it so strongly.
You
like,
feel
I love
so
this person.
Like, how could they do that to me? Yeah, that's hard. I cried a million nights over the first person I thought I loved. Well, it's what they call puppy love.
Yeah, puppy love. Well, back then it wasn't puppy love. It was a real thing.
It was real.
Yeah. So we navigated those heartbreaks.
Yeah. Cried, tears.
Yeah. To each other.
Yeah.
I might have acted out a little bit.
Played.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I be telling my kids, y'all don't know I was a player. I was bad. But anyways. But yeah, navigating the first heartbreak, I wish that I had someone to, you know, really talk me through it. Not just I'm in my room crying about it, you know, thinking that I'm just, you know, I'm not worthy or whatever. You know, it just kind of fed into that, you know, that already feeling that was there of not being wanted.
Right.
So experiencing that heartache and not having somebody to just embrace me through it and be like, it's going to be okay, you know, whatever. Like, what do you really say? Like, my son, he experienced a heartache and it just broke my little heart. He was so sad. He was so sad. But knowing what that feels like and being like young, I'm grateful that I was able to talk him through it, but also give him his space. I had to learn that too.
Right.
Is to give him his space and allow him to feel the feeling and let him know that it was okay to feel that feeling. Right. And I think if we had that, like, it's okay to feel that, you know, we have to acknowledge our emotions, and so we can get through them. Because we were on a call that really touched me with a relative of yours, and they were talking about grief and how it comes in waves And I'm thinking of sadness too, like a heartbreak, like it's going to come in waves, or
Yeah.
it's going to hurt at first, and then you'll be like, okay, and then you'll think again, it'll come back, but allowing those feelings to come and flow.
Right.
And, you'll find your strength and your way through it. You just got to not deny yourself what you feel in any moment, whether it's happiness, sadness, grief, whatever. We have to allow ourselves to feel what we need to feel.
Right.
And just, it'll be okay. But yeah, teenage heartbreak, yeah, that's
the worst.
That's the real thing. But yeah, we had each other, so we were able to navigate. So we're best friends, we're family, but I feel like we're sisters, and I didn't always feel like that. I didn't, because a few years ago we had this moment in our relationship that just was like, what happened? What is going on?
After probably 20 years of being friends, we argued for the first time. And
it's like, what is going on? And so I'm flipping. I'm talking to my husband. I'm like, I don't know what just happened. I'm just freaking out. But when I have moments in my adulthood with relationships that I've had for all my life or most of my life, I learned that those moments are growing moments, maturing moments.
That helped me grow the conversations because it was, we was used to being talking to each other every day. And it got to a moment where we weren't talking to each other every day. And you was like, just because I'm not talking, we don't have to talk to each other every day. You kind of opened my eyes, like I don't have to talk to her every day to, still have the closeness that we got. Right. So,
yeah. And for me, it was, we needed to have this moment of growing up our relationship.
Yeah.
Like we talked, but we always talk about, the same. It's like we always reminisce.
When we was teenagers.
If we weren't reminiscing, we were just talking about our kids or our relationships or whatever. So having that time to where it's like, okay, what?
Yeah, it was weird.
We're not talking. That's not right. But it helped me, like you said, it helped me to be like, you know what? We need to elevate. Yeah. We need to know that it's okay to not be in each other's space all the time. I mean, we're grown women at this point, you know. We don't have that same, I don't know if I want to say dependency on each other, because I think I had a dependency on you because I lacked, in other areas, support in other areas. So you were always somebody, as well as my brother, who in our video, we discussed a similar situation where what happened? What's going on?
Right.
But it helped be like, I can stand on my own 2 feet and still turn to you when I need you. Like, I know you're there.
Right.
So having that realization really helped, in my eyes, mature our relationship. And so now we know, we good.
Yeah, we good.
We good. And that was like about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago. And I think our conversations have grown too. Because, now we talk about getting old.
Yeah, getting older.
We talk about the gray. See, you can't see. I got a few. I don't have a lot, but yeah, you're not gonna see them. Not right away. Not until my whole head is white. Like, I don't mind turning gray. My grandmother and my mom have beautiful gray and white hair, and I'm like, yeah, just do the whole thing. We talk about the gray. Oh, the aches and pains. Oh my God, them knees, y'all. Ooh, them knees be hurting. Oh my God.
What's funny is up till like, I'll say 40-ish, we would say we don't feel any different.
Right.
Remember we would say that? We don't feel different.
Then 40 plus.
The age is coming, but we still feel the same.
Until 40 plus hit.
40 hit.
When 40 plus hit, then it's like, wait, something's going on.
Right, something's different.
And I'm not the only one feeling this way, because
right.
now I'm feeling like literally be saying, man, we feel like we're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening, like, with the emotions that, happen throughout the month, and just our thought process, and I just be like, I know that I'm not going crazy. Okay, is it just me? So we talk a lot about just, in every month, it's like we have the same conversation as if we forgot.
Right.
We just went through this last month. Here we go again. And just like, man, I don't understand. I'm angry, or I can't stop eating, or this is that are going on. And then the time of the month comes, it's like, oh, girl, that's what was wrong with me. So it'd be so funny every month. I'd be like, I'm about to call Vanetta and tell the girl. I was like, okay, that's what was wrong with me. The whole house is on fire because I don't realize what's wrong with me until I realize, oh, that's what's going on. So it's funny that we have literally gone from 12-year-old kids. We done partied, we done went through so much together, to adults, getting married, kids, to now, my youngest is 18, so moving into that next stage of empty nesters, you got a few more years, but it's okay. It's okay. But just know that that's coming up, and then now looking forward, what's next?
Right.
Do we have another growth spurt? And what does that look like?
Right.
I don't think it'll be bad. I think it's going to be interesting, because now we're looking at what's next, menopause. And I don't have anybody to talk to about menopause.
Yeah.
Because my aunt, she's so funny. I asked her, and she's like, I don't even remember. I may have one or two. He flashed, and I'm like, really? And talking to my mom, just in her state right now, she just doesn't remember something. So I'm like, oh, so here's something else I'm going to navigate and try to just figure out what is this going to look like. But hey, we're going to do it together, I guess.
Right.
It's interesting, but it's a blessing to have somebody in your life that you can say, wow, we've been friends for over 30 years. Yeah. And know that our relationship is strong enough and solid enough that we know that this is going to be like forever, no matter what comes. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you for preaching at me, even though I didn't want you to at the time, but I needed it. And maybe that added another level to our friendship, because even as teens, we were freely living or whatever, just experiencing life, the world as we saw through our eyes. But then having somebody who's, man, that's my peer, but they really do care. They care enough to preach. Right. A lot of times you get situations where people just encourage you to do bad. Just encourage the bad behavior versus, no, you really need to stop. Like, this is not good. I'm worried about you. So that.
Yeah, those are those friends that you no longer are talking to anymore. Yeah. The ones that,
the ones that fall off.
Yeah. Encourage you to do wrong.
Yeah. At least they should fall off if they encourage you to do wrong. But yeah, this anything else from our growing up together? Like, we're family. Like, her little sisters are literally like my little sisters. And then we're family anyway, but it was like that even before.
It was
like that even before.
Spend every weekend at your house.
Because we even, I would come to, her family's events, and, her family would come to ours. So that was already established before the marriage. And the kids, my wonderful, humongous godsons, they both taller than me, and they like to pat me on my head because they can look over me, whatever.
Yeah, it was always established.
Yeah.
Because even before all that, we used to, you used to make cakes, and we eat spaghetti and watch
And the
TV.
parties we used to cook for, Vanetta's wings. Her wings at the parties.
Chicken wings. Everybody, chicken wings.
And she couldn't even get them out the grease fast enough. We literally people would be standing around waiting for the wings to come out the grease, and just be piling in the kitchen just eating. And I used to make this like some type of spaghetti with all these meats in it, and we had the best.
That was when we was 17?
Yeah, 16, 17.
We cooked and
yeah, we did a lot. Yeah, I'm grateful.
Fun times.
Yeah.
I don't have any regret.
Me
Not
either.
really.
Me either. Now it's time to create some new adventures,
Right.
Vanetta.
Yeah.
Get you out of South Bend.
Yeah.
I be trying to get her to come on these little trips me and my husband take. Let's go somewhere. It's just different. It's exciting to be in a new place and just see something different, feel something different. You know, we stay where we are, so we never feel anything different. So we get
Right.
stuck in a oh my god type of mood.
Right.
And so when you go out, you get a little refreshing and you come back with a new perspective. And eventually that old feeling comes back, but that's when it's time to go again. That's part of the adventure of life, is just keep learning and experiencing new things. So that's what I'm looking forward to now that all my
Right.
kids are grown. It's just having that freedom. Just we can come and go as we please. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. So that's what I'm looking forward to, honestly. And building something new.
Yeah.
Building something new. Just, yeah, building a new way of life. Looking forward towards a new type of freedom. So yeah, so this was good. I thank you for joining us at YGU Yes Girl University.
You're welcome.
And of course you'll be back because we want to touch on some other topics.
Right.
Probably really soon coming up here. So it's a very, very interesting topic that we talk about quite a bit, and I think it's very important because I myself don't have, an understanding, but it's I think it's needed. I think it's needed to let people know that it's okay to feel, what you feel going through what you went through. And I won't
Right.
give it away right now. We'll do that another time. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave us some comments about you and your best friend or your sister or whatever. Best friends are just, they're siblings that, just in another household.
Yeah.
We're sisters. We've been there. We'll be there for life. But please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. But thank you again for joining us. Vanetta, I'm going to have you back.
For sure.
Hopefully I won't make you cry.
Oh, man.
I've got
You
accused of
might.
making people cry.
You
We
might.
might cry. It's okay. We might cry, but that's okay. But you guys have a wonderful, blessed day.